this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing part 3 of my Sinister 6 ranking. The last 2 weeks I've done numbers 51 through 31, and so this week I'm going to be doing numbers 30 through 21. Before I get into that, I'll go ahead and give you guys refresh y'all on numbers 31 through 51. So, number 31 was Halloween 2. Number 32 was A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Number 33 was Scream 4. Number 34 was Friday the 13th, 2009. 35 was Halloween H2O. 36, Leatherface. 37, Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. 38, A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. 39, Child's Play 2019. 40, Freddy vs. Jason. 41, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. 42, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. 43, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. 44, Seed of Chucky. 45, Scream 3. 46, Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. 47, Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Next Generation. 48, Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. 49, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. 50, Halloween Resurrection. And 51, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Number 30 is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I do like this movie quite a bit. I don't love it and everything, but the first time I watched it, I really hated it because I hated that it just totally retconned the ending of the previous movie, which is one of my favorite movies in the franchise, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. But on rewatch, I really did enjoy this movie quite a bit for what it is. It's not really one of the best in the franchise, I don't deny that and everything, but I can enjoy it as if I like turn my brain off, I can enjoy this movie and everything. I enjoyed it more on rewatch than I did when I saw it the first time. It's still not one of my most favorite movies in the franchise though, by any means, but I think it's an okay movie and everything. I didn't like the direction they went with Jamie. I think they should have made her the killer and just left Michael out of it. They ended it perfectly where they could have kept Michael dead, or even had Jamie as the killer and then Michael show up too or something. I mean, I don't know how they would have done it, but I think that this just was it could have been a lot better than it was, but I think it could have been worse too. So, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers is number 30. And number 29 is Jason Goes to Hell. I actually really enjoy this movie quite a bit. I know this is one of the ones that's not very popular in the franchise and everything, because it's really different. It doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th movie and everything, but I respect what they were doing. They were trying to make it different and everything, and I respect that. And I do really enjoy this movie. I think it's better than a lot of people say it is and everything. I kind of like the thought of the Jason switching from body to body and everything. I thought that was done pretty well. I like it had some pretty good kills, especially in the unrated version and everything. And it has a really awesome, one of the most awesome scenes in the franchise at the beginning when Jason gets blown up and everything. That was just a really cool scene. And everything. It's one of the most memorable scenes, and I also like we get a little bit of his family background too. We find out that he had family and stuff in this movie, and I thought that was pretty cool and everything. I love the way they set up Freddy vs. Jason at the end of the movie. So Jason Goes to Hell was a pretty good movie. It's not one of my very most favorites of the franchise, but it is one of the ones that I like a lot. And pretty much all of these movies, starting from this one up, are ones that I really do enjoy quite a bit. So Jason Goes to Hell is number 29, and 28 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This was one of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies that when I very first saw it, I didn't really like it because it's such a slow burner, and a lot of the kills are like rehash kills from the first movie and everything. They were like paying tribute to that and everything. So we don't get a lot of good kills in this movie, but I really do like the dark and really sinister Freddy that we get in this movie. I think it's one of the best versions of Freddy, up there with the first two Freddys, or first three Freddys, really, because I liked him a lot in the first three movies, and I did like him in the fourth one too, and Freddy vs. Jason. So I think this is one of the best portrayals of Freddy and everything, and I like the meta setting and it being set in the real world and all that. I really like that too, and the Miko Hughes, who plays Heather Langenkamp's son, he does a really good job and everything, and I like that we get like appearances from people who were involved in the Nightmare franchise throughout the whole thing. I thought that was pretty cool too, and yeah, so but yeah, this is easily not one of my, it's one of my favorite Nightmare movies, but it's not one of my most favorites, if that makes sense. It's in my top 5 probably of the franchise, but it's just not one of my most favorites, but it's not one of my least favorites either. So Wes Craven's New Nightmare is number 28, and number 27 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. This one, a lot like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, when I watched this movie for the first time, I hated it and everything. I know a lot of people, most people don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I can understand why. It does something totally different with all of the characters. It changes their personalities and everything, but in a way I also like it. The only one I really didn't like what they did with was Michael Myers. I don't like that they just made him like a wandering hobo and stuff like that, but I really loved how they changed Laurie and everything. I thought the portrayal of the PTSD and everything like that was really realistic. So I really liked the way that they portrayed Laurie in this movie. I also didn't really like Dr. Loomis in the movie, but I think that it was an interesting take on the character and doing something different with him. So that didn't really bother me. I just didn't like the way he acted in the movie. It's not really Malcolm McDowell's acting. I mean, just like the character himself, his actions in the movie and everything. And I also got to say, Brad Dourif gave one of the best performances I've seen in a horror movie. In the scene when he finds Annie's body, both him and Scout Taylor Compton both did really great in the scenes when they find Annie and everything. But Brad Dourif was just so amazing in this movie. I honestly think that he should have gotten an Oscar nomination for that performance and everything. So but yeah, it's not one of the very best movies in the Sinister Six ranking or anything like that, but I do think that Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is a pretty good movie. I think it's a better standalone movie than a Halloween movie, though. I do agree with most people on that as well and everything. But Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is number 27, and number 26 is Bride of Chucky. I just absolutely love this movie. It's one of the best films in the franchise to me and everything. And it's getting to the point where it was really hard to figure out where to put what on this list and everything. And Bride of Chucky is just such a great movie. I absolutely love the blend of horror and comedy and everything. I think the chemistry between Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly is really good, even though we don't actually see them on screen together. It's just Brad Dourif's voice with Jennifer Tilly, and then their voices together, but they work so well together and everything. I don't know if they recorded their lines together or something, but they really played off each other really well. I don't know if they recorded their lines together, or if they did it separately or what, but it worked really well and everything. Something that I hated to see not work in the next installment, and Seed of Chucky. They totally butchered their relationship by that one. But I really do love Bride of Chucky. I think it's a great movie and easily one of my favorites in the Child's Play franchise. So it's number 26, and number 25 is Texas Chainsaw 3D. This movie to me is just really underrated. It is dumb. It has a lot of really stupid and bad continuity errors, and the logic of this movie doesn't make any sense. Like, you're supposed to root for the people that are bad and everything, that you're supposed to feel sympathy for these murderers and stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense, like, the way they do that and everything, but there's just something about this movie. It has that guilty pleasure feel and everything. It has some of the dumbest and best lines in there, like, "Welcome to Texas, motherfucker," and the person ain't even from Texas. It was really stupid. And then my favorite line in the movie, and "Do your thing, cuz," when she throws the chainsaw at Leatherface to kill the guy. I just absolutely love that. It just cracks me up every time and everything. So Texas Chainsaw 3D is number 25, and number 24 is the highly underrated Child's Play 3. This is another one of my favorites in the franchise. I just feel it's so underrated and everything. I love this movie a lot. I love the military setting and everything. I really like the new characters that are in here, De Silva, and I even like Tyler, the character that most people hate. I really liked him, and what is his name? The nerdy guy that ends up sacrificing himself. I cannot remember his name. It just totally slipped my mind, but I like him too. It has some of my favorite Chucky one-liners, like "Don't fuck with the Chuck" and "Presto, you're dead," and when he kills the barber. One of my favorite kills in the whole franchise, and especially it's probably my favorite kill in that movie. I love when he kills the guy in the garbage truck too, or the guy that just has a heart attack and dies, and he's like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." I love that part too. It cracked me up and everything. It's one of my favorite scenes in the whole franchise and everything. So but I just absolutely love Child's Play 3. This movie is really underrated. Even I don't give it the credit it deserves when I do my rankings and stuff. I always feel like I put it lower than it really deserves to be, but I just love all of the Chucky movies. So on my ranking, the reason it's low isn't because it's a bad movie, it's just because I like so many of the other ones more. But Child's Play 3 is just such a great movie, so it's number 24. And number 23 is Friday the 13th Part 2. I like this movie quite a bit for the most part. I don't really like the look of Sackhead Jason, or whatever he's wearing on his head. I think it was his pillowcase, but I don't like the look of that, of him. But I think that Steve Dash did a good job playing Jason and everything. It does have some pretty memorable kills, especially the guy in the wheelchair. It's kind of brutal. He just gets an axe in the head and falls down those stairs. Kind of brutal, but I love that scene. And then there's some other good ones. This isn't one of my most favorites in the franchise, but I don't think it's terrible by any means. And it was a good sequel and everything, because I do like this franchise a lot and everything. You'll see a lot more of those in the next couple list. But Friday the 13th Part 2 is number 23, and number 22 is Jason X. This was actually one of the first movies that I ever saw with Jason and everything, and I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. It is really campy. It's a turn your brain off movie, and it's a really good guilty pleasure movie. It's dumb and everything, but it is so much fun and everything. It has one of the best kills in the whole franchise, though, with the carbon dioxide kill, where he freezes a woman's face and then bangs it into the counter. One of the most awesome and brutal kills in the whole franchise. And we get Uber Jason in this, which I think is really cool. He looks really awesome and everything. And I love, like, the little self-parody scene when he's in they make him think he's back in Camp Crystal Lake, and the girls are like, we're gonna get high and have premarital sex and everything. And then he's like, he picks up the sleeping bag and is banging it against a tree and everything, recreating the kill from part 7 and everything. So I just absolutely love this movie. I also think it's Kane Hodder's best portrayal of Jason. I think he was really awesome as Jason in that movie. So yeah, so Jason X is number 22, and number 21 is Cult of Chucky. I absolutely love this movie. I thought it was a really great follow-up to Curse of Chucky, which was such a refreshing take for the Child's Play franchise after Seed of Chucky and everything. It was so nice getting it to go back to the horror roots and everything. And I really loved Cult. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was great getting to see Alex Vincent back as Andy and everything, although I do feel like he was underused and everything. But and I think that Fiona Dorff was great as Nika again and everything. I love the ending with the multiple dolls and stuff. It doesn't make really much sense and everything. I hate that they just kind of use a little throwaway line on how he's put into multiple dolls and stuff like that about the voodoo for dummies. I do think that they should have found a way to execute that part better, but it didn't really bother me having the multiple doll, bringing the multiple Chuckies and everything. And I thought it was cool that he possessed Nika and everything. And Fiona Dorff's Chucky laugh is awesome. I just love that she did that Chucky laugh, and she really made it believable that it was Chucky in that body and everything. Of course, being Brad Dourif's daughter, it's not that hard to do, I guess, for her. But I really loved Cult of Chucky and everything. So it's number 21. So anyway, that's the end of this ranking. I'll be doing numbers 20 through 11 next week, and then on Halloween I'll do numbers 10 through 1. So y'all can catch those, and I'll do a recap at the beginning of each of the videos to let you know what the full ranking is, except for on the one on Halloween. I'll do the recap after I do the top 10 and everything. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.